What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is a Tampa Talk Tuesday.
Hi, everybody.
I'm excited. We've got the one, the only, the lovely, talented Miss Marsha Railton. What's up, Marsha?
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be here. Hate that our friend Stacy isn't here tonight.
Who is it? Oh, hey, Stacy. Yes. And welcome, y'all. So for those of you who are joining us, my name is Juan Alcala. I am a licensed realtor, and I am blessed enough to be part of this organization called the True Living Group, along with Marsha Railton and our other cohort, Stacy Amon, who is traveling. She's blessed enough to go visit some family. So shout out to Stacy. We're happy for her to be able to go back home and visit family in Indiana. So it'll just be the Marsha and Juan show tonight. So for those of you who are just waiting for the star of the show, she is taking a vacation. But shout out to Stacy if she's watching back home. Hopefully she's hanging out with family. But we're excited to have you all this evening. We are going to be talking about the best of the Bay. I'm pretty excited about tonight. I'm going to take you through some of my favorite spots. Well, we're going to focus on a specific city tonight. If you saw the thumbnail, you know that's St. Petersburg. I can wax poetic about this city, but we're going to get into that. We're going to talk how to eat your way through the city. We're going to talk about fun things to do, entertainment, events, places to even take the pets. So we're going to talk about all those things. And then we're going to head down south to Parrish. We're also going to make a pit stop in Sarasota and check out St. Armands Circle. So we've got some really fun things on deck tonight. We're excited to share those with you. And as always, we're going to talk some real estate. I'm going to talk about some numbers because, boy, it is an interesting time. I swear, it's like every day there's a new story, a new headline, a new opportunity to, just challenge the way that you think, because the way things are working right now, they're not supposed to work that way, which is very interesting. And we'll get into more of that, what that means, but we really want to focus on some of the fun stuff. So, Marsha, you and I have been blessed enough to spend almost a year together now. Right? That's crazy when we think about that and say that out loud. So I'm excited we need to look at your anniversary date joining the team, because I'm terrible about that.
So am I. So
the two of us, between the two of us, we don't know. Okay, that's good. My wife reminds me of every date and anniversary and all those things. So does Steven do that for you too?
No. Okay. We just skip it.
That's good. Awesome.
We always tell each other to remind each other of things, but neither one of us are good at it.
Yeah. It has to be right around now. It's somewhere right around this time.
I do believe it was in September, maybe towards the end of September.
I think it was because I was traveling and you walked right in the door and covered a closing for us. So, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But regardless of that, I just want to let y'all know that this lovely lady has spent a year serving this community. So if you are part of that community she served, first of all, I want to say thank you. For those of you who are still considering buying, selling, or relocating in the area here, this is one of the rock stars you're probably going to get an opportunity to rub shoulders with, and she's the best of the best. And I just wanted to say publicly, thank you for what you've done over the last year. Marsha has busted her behind, y'all. She has been a huge impact to our team. I've been grateful to have her on the team, and man, she just brings the best info to y'all. So buckle up for that, because you're going to see some really cool stuff tonight. And she's got the greatest apps. She comes up with these apps that you can use. They're very useful, which I love. But she just loves this business, and she loves taking care of clients. So from me to you, I want to say thank you personally, Marsha, and for our community. Trust me. I've worked alongside of a lot of real estate professionals, and Marsha's at the top of that list. So she genuinely cares about how people are served, and that they have an excellent experience. And I just want to say thank you. So we appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here. I always tell you, I love what we do. I love helping people find their spot in the world, and it makes it easy when you love where you live. So Absolutely. We're very lucky to be helping people move here.
And I absolutely love where we live. There's no doubt about that. And I got to shout out to Kevin here because I know Kevin's a faithful viewer. He watches every single Tuesday. I don't know if he's missed, but my man was ready. As soon as I hit go on the live stream, Kevin had it typed up. I'm sure he just hit enter as soon as he saw it goes live. So shout out to you, Kevin. Thanks for reaching out, my man. I appreciate that as always. And then we've got Mr. Jeff in the house as well. He says hello to Marcia and Juan. So thank you. And we would love to know where you're watching from. If you're new to this, we focus on all things Tampa Bay and Sarasota. So we talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. We talk about what's happening in the community, entertainment, food, dining, real estate, everything you want or need to know when it comes to living in the Tampa Bay area. We've got your back here. So that is what the focus of tonight's going to be. We're going to probably expose you to some things you didn't know. Hopefully, we're probably going to share some things with you that you might have already known, but go a little bit deeper on. So that's our promise to you this evening. So you can enjoy the ride here, but we would love to know where you're watching from, number one. If you have questions or comments during the live stream, do not hesitate. I'm monitoring those the entire time, and we would love to engage with you. And if you're watching this afterwards, recorded as well, do not hesitate to put a comment down below because I will respond to them personally. All of our contact information is listed down below as well. So there's a link to my calendar if you want to connect. But one of the best places to connect with us is on our socials. And you can see right there at Marcia Railton. That's Marcia's Instagram handle. And mine is at juan.alcala.realtor. So you can find me there too. We love connecting with people on socials. So do not hesitate to reach out there either. And with that, I'm excited to get this evening kicked off. Who else we got in here? Michael V says, Mike and Amber from Connecticut. What's up, Mike and Amber? Hey, y'all buckle up. Y'all buckle up. Mr. Lee's making his way up north, I heard. So be careful. You know, I think by the time it reaches you guys, it's supposed to slow down to either a Category 1 hurricane or tropical storm, nor'easter at that point, I think, because it's much cooler up there. But hey, we hope you guys are safe. Make sure that everything's battened down, the hatches up there. Hope no flooding or anything damages you guys. I hope you're far enough off the coast. But for everyone else up there in Connecticut, Rhode Island area up there, buckle up, y'all. I think you got some weather coming your way. Normally that's our responsibility to take hold of those things. But over the last few weeks, I think we're happy to kind of pass things along. And our hope is that Lee just fizzles out up there for you guys. So we've got you on our minds, and we'll keep you in our prayers. So we'll keep that rocking. Yeah. And Michael says, fingers crossed. You're welcome, my man. We're praying for you. We don't, trust me, nobody got time for that. Nobody got time for that. So let's dig in, Marcia. I know, like, we're going to start south and then we're going to make our way north. We're going to head up. Okay. Let's just start all the way down south, and then we'll make our way up to St. Petersburg, and we're just going to have a blast tonight. So again, you guys have comments, concerns, questions, throw them in the chat. We'll make sure we get to them. But let's get this thing rocking, Marcia. What do you got for us tonight?
Well, let's start in Sarasota then. We'll start the south part and work our way up, like you said. I know when everybody thinks of Sarasota, they think of beaches, but there's a lot of other things to do. So I thought I would highlight a few things that I think are really fun in the Sarasota area. Number one being St. Armands Circle. It is out on Lido Key. It's a really cool high-end shopping and dining experience. They have over 140 shops and restaurants. I thought it was very interesting to know that John Ringling bought that property from a farmer by his last name was St. Armand, and he bought it from him in the late 1800s. And him and his wife had this vision of the St. Armand Circle with all the shopping. Yeah. They've donated many of the statues that are in the area. And to be honest, I hadn't noticed how many there were. There's like 30 Italian statues throughout the circle that you can get pictures, like selfies and stuff with. That's really cool, and I'll talk more about them and their art later. But it's a really nice place to go. We've talked about it before.
Are they marble? I was wondering that when we were out there last time filming. I mean, these things are stunning, y'all. There's a ton of them. It doesn't
say, and the things I read didn't say they were marble. It just said 30 Italian statues.
Yeah, because they're all over the center of the circle, and there's like King Tridents in there too, or King Neptune, and like they've got the whole. It's just a vibe, man. It's a vibe. I really enjoy it. I think it's a very cool spot to come check out. Let me see, doing some.
I think it's fun because it offers a good variety as far as women obviously like to shop and men don't always, so they can either go sit in the beautiful landscaped circle in the middle, which is like a park, or they can go to any of the restaurants or bars. There's a lot of high-end shopping like Lilly Pulitzer. There's all kinds of shops down there. Soma is there, and tons of jewelers. So if you can bring your husband and get him to buy you some jewelry, it's a good place to go.
And what restaurant did we eat at? We ate at the Shore.
The Shore. That's my favorite, but there's others there that are cool too.
Yeah, and the Shore, for those of you who don't know, I'll pull that up real quick too. This restaurant has a convertible roof. It's awesome. And underneath it's this boutique. It's got shopping underneath, and then above it's got this incredible restaurant. And we had a fellow realtor that we did an event in Sarasota, and she invited us to this restaurant, and it is just absolutely stunning. At sunset, they literally retract the roof, and you're looking at the stars. It was just incredible. It's a beautiful shop. Let me see if they've got photos in here in our vibe.
Yeah, the food is fabulous as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have crab and fin, which is really good, in the Columbia restaurant. There's a Tommy Bahama restaurant. There's a lot to offer.
It really is. And the sad thing is this did experience some flooding from the hurricane that just came through. But resilient, bounce back. Everybody's back down doing the business. But like Marcia was saying, you got the Shore here. Columbia's on one corner. Clam Bar is there as well. That's a great spot to go hang out. The Daiquiri Deck is a cool spot to hang out. Armands Restaurant's down there. There's a lot going on down here. It smells. The irony was, I see the waffle cone there. It smelled like sugar the entire time I was down there. I'm like, this place is like just wired to have people hanging out all day long, and it's right by the beach. And I don't want to lose sight of that, Marcia. Like, it's right next to Lido Key and Lido Beach.
Yeah,
right.
It is, which is great because you can go to the beach all day and then head over there for dinner. Mm-hmm. There is one thing I like to warn people about, because I'd say like 4 or 5 years ago, before you could park anywhere and it was free. And then all of a sudden one day when I went there was meters everywhere. Yeah. So I finally got that figured out. But the meters, if you park right on the street, like right in the circle, it's $1.50 an hour. And then, but there's a parking deck that has over 500 parking spots that's off of Adams Street. Mm-hmm. It's only 50 cents. Plus there's nice, clean public bathrooms in there. So you can park, use the restroom, and then head down to St. Armands Circle. So there are different options as far as parking is concerned. And, if you put on your bathing suit, the other thing at Lido Key, there's bathrooms too, so you can go change and stuff if you want to head out for dinner and not wear a bathing suit, or change into something more comfortable. So it's a great place. I love it.
Agreed.
My next spot is Marie Selby Botanical Gardens. I've only been there once. Definitely want to go back. It was absolutely beautiful. They are right on the Sarasota Bay, and the price is like $26 for adults, and I think it's like $11 for kids. But I think it's 15 acres, so it's quite a lot of walking involved, but absolutely beautiful. They have weddings there and all kinds of events, indoor and outdoor exhibits, and they change all the time. When I went, it was they're very prone to orchid exhibits, which I love. But they do a lot of other things as well. The night that I went, they were having a circus entertainment there, and it was kids going to circus school, like for
acrobatics.
Acrobatics.
Really? Okay.
Those young kids, I would say from 7 to teenagers. And it was amazing. They had servers there serving drinks and food, and it was they had like high top tables and stuff. It was just absolutely beautiful. And I kept saying I wanted to come, go back there and take my husband. And it's a really fun experience. So I highly recommend that.
Yeah, we have a botanical garden here in Largo, and they decorate it for the holidays, and it is a cool event.
Yeah.
We do it every year. It's awesome. The kids love it. And it's what a great place to go hang out. They usually have Christmas Carol and that type of thing too. So this is awesome.
Yeah. Next up is the Bayfront Park, another one of my favorite places. When you go there, you can find people, there's yoga classes, there's book clubs, there's all kinds of things going on. And again, it's right on the Sarasota Bay. When you first pull up, you'll see a huge statue of a sailor and a nurse kissing. And that is called the kissing statue or the unconditional surrender statue.
The unconditional surrender. Appropriately named.
Yes.
So
the cool thing about that statue is I've seen it in other cities, and I think it's in 6 other cities in it's in Pearl Harbor, it's in San Diego, it's in New Jersey, and in France. Okay. So it's a statue that was built based on a photograph that was taken after World War II. So it's a really cool statue. I think I sent you a link for it, Juan.
For the statue specifically?
Yeah, it said it's a link at the bottom. Sorry about that. I couldn't find a actual link. I
must have missed it. Forgive me, y'all.
Okay. That's okay. But anyways, it's cool because you'll see tons of people getting their pictures taken underneath it. And it's so tall that, adults can stand under it. So it's a great picture opportunity. And then right there in the park, there's 2 restaurants. One is called Marina Jack's, which is like a high-end marina restaurant. They have fine dining upstairs where you can look over the bay and the marina. And then on the main level, it's really cool because all the windows open up. So it's like it's whether you're inside the restaurant or outside, it's open. And you're sitting right there in the marina. They have entertainment almost every night, and very good food. Their food is phenomenal. They have a few different restaurants, the top restaurant, the main level restaurant, and then they have a piano bar besides. Also affiliated with Marina Jack's, there's a cruise, and you can take a lunchtime cruise or an evening cruise. The lunchtime, I think, was $55, and the nighttime cruise is $77. And you get dinner with that or lunch, and they take you out for a couple hours and show you around the area. There's drinks, but you have to purchase them. They remind you to bring your driver's license because they have to see that to serve you the mixed drinks. And there's also a party barge called La Barge, and that goes out several times a day. And you can book that. It's a little wilder. I've seen people leave on that, and it's open. It has the palm trees on the top, and people are hollering.
The rest of us refer to that as the booze cruise, Marcia.
Yes, so that's what I would refer to it as. Whereas the other one that I was telling you about, the Marina Jack 2, it's a 96-foot cruise vessel. Wow. It's gorgeous, and it'll be a lot calmer than the booze cruise, but both super fun. They have a lunch cruise at noon, and then a dinner cruise at 6:30 every day.
Okay, cool.
So that's a really fun thing to do. And then hidden at the back of the park is O'Leary's Tiki Bar, and that's really cool too. It's really, really low key and very it's right on the water there. So everybody's in t-shirts and shorts. You can boat up to it or kayak, or I've seen jet skis pulling up to it. They have music every day from 5 to 9. They serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Another really fun place that is right there at the park. And again, this is downtown Sarasota.
Cocktails in paradise, y'all. You can't go wrong when.
Very casual. That's the word I was trying to think of.
Sure, that makes sense.
Super fun.
Yep.
Yeah, you see how it's like you're walking through this park, and all of a sudden there's a tiki bar in water right there. It's really cool.
Florida. If there's water and there's a liquor license, it's going to be a party, right? Like
there's going to be tiki something involved.
This is the way it works, man. This is how we roll down here.
Yeah, super fun.
All right, cool.
Next up is the Ringling Museum. If you want to add a little class to your life, John and Mabel Ringling were John was part of the Ringling Brothers Circus. And I think he had 4 brothers, and he was the most successful of the 5. And him and his wife purchased property right in Sarasota. And now you can go visit the museum there and their home. If you go just to the museum, it's I wrote it down. Let me see. $15 on a Thursday from 5 to 8. They have like wine and music, and then you can tour the Museum of Art. But then if you want to do the Circus Museum as well, it's more expensive. And then the house on the right, or the home, that castle, was their actual home. And you can go through that as well.
Y'all, come on now. No,
isn't it gorgeous?
I'm telling you right now, like, I'm not in the ornate stuff is not necessarily my vibe, but like when you get into this like Spanish style, like this stuff's incredible, man.
Yeah. When I first heard about the Ringling Museum, I pictured it to be all circus art, but it's not. They were huge art collectors, and they have Asian art and tons of Italian art. They have large collection. So it's really cool to go see that. So that's a really cool experience as well. There's another castle right next to the John Ringling one, and I'm sorry I can't remember the name of it, but I went to a wedding there, and it was so beautiful. They got married right out on the lawn, and then the reception was actually in a home just like the one you're showing here. That was, I'll have to look it up to be able to tell you, but I don't remember the person's name that owned the next one, but it's close, very close to that one.
Marcia, it's only 36,000 square feet and 56 rooms. I mean, like,
it won't take long to look it up.
No, it won't take long at all. Right on Sarasota Bay,
Can you imagine how long our property video would be on that one?
Come see us next week. We'll still be working on it. That's unbelievable. That is look at this place. It's unreal, man.
Isn't it beautiful? Wow.
Can you imagine that was your back? When was this built?
I think in the early 1900s.
Well, it was completed in 1926. Lord only know when it actually started, right? But like, this thing probably took over a decade, I'm guessing. But like, just an absolute stunner right there. Like, but imagine like old Florida, 1926 on the bay. There's very few things that were even on the water.
Right.
Right. This would have been an entirely different view. Now I'm waxing poetically about history here, but like, this is it's unbelievable.
And it's cool because there's the Ringling Art School too, which is located right by this home. So when you go to the school, I do believe some of the classes are actually in the museum and the home.
Oh, that's awesome, Marcia. That's a great share. Thank you.
Isn't it cool?
It really is.
So my last fun thing to do for Sarasota is the Moat Marine Laboratory and Aquarium. They're currently building a new location by the University Town Center Mall. We've talked about it before, over by Pop Stroke and all that's going on in that area. But it is very research and education oriented, and it started out as them saving sharks. That was their main focus. But now they're like doing research for cancer and say how they can save the my mind just went blank. I'm sorry. Let me think of what it's called. Manatee. I'm sorry, my mind went blank. But like for the population for manatees and sharks and dolphins, they are constantly working on research to better the ocean. So it's really cool. They have tons of classes for kids or adults. You can go there and swim with different fish, and there's so much to offer there. That's a good experience, I'd say, for all ages. So if you have a day that you're down here and the beach isn't a good thing, you got kids with you, that would be a really good thing to try out.
Is this the building they're putting up right next to University Mall between Popstroke and the park?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And if you've never been to Popstroke, go check that out. We've talked about that before. It's Tiger Woods inspired, but like it's adult putt-putt for the lack of a better term. Awesome. But it's right next to this building. They've been working on this. They've had cranes over there.
I think it's supposed to be done in 2025, I think. And just so you know, the cost for adults is $26 and children is $19. And they said the typical visit is 2 hours, but you can stay as long as you want.
I'm all about this Sharktoberfest thing they got going on here. I don't know what's happening here, but I'm down for it. Let's go check it out. Saturday, October 14th. So they've got an event happening there. 99 Bottles Tap Room and tap bottle shop's going to be hanging out there. That's cool. All right. Well, that's cool, Marcia. The Mote Marine. So don't lose sight of that. MOTE.
Yes.
Love that. Well, that's great. Good. All great shares, of course, as always. We appreciate that. Got some comments. Let's bust in over here and see what everybody's talking about. I'm really bad. Usually I'm supposed to read these before I press go. Because you just never know what people are going to say. Boombastic Reviews. That is a very interesting name. Okay, cool. How does the average Canadian move to St. Pete? I'd love to start a business in America. Well, this is the land of capitalism. So you're probably coming to the right place to make that happen. We actually have clients that have done exactly what you're asking about. More than a few. That seems to be the common path to come here. It's one of the easiest ways to gain your citizenship and get your visa, FYI. I do have an entire article on how to make that happen. So I can send that your way. Do me a favor, DM me on Instagram, and then I'll send that information your way, or shoot me an email. All of our contact information is down below. So you can shoot me an email as well, and I'll follow back up with that info so you can kind of put that together for yourself. Cool, y'all. All right. Well, Marcia, I want to get into a little bit of, before we get into real estate talk, I want to talk a little bit about, Marcia's talking about what's happening down south. So we just talked about Sarasota. Very cool things happening down there. If you got questions about Sarasota or the Bradenton, Anna Maria Island area specifically, Marcia's your gal. You want to reach out to Marcia. That is her backyard. That's her home turf. She's all about it. She's a boater, loves living that boat life. You can, if you follow her on Instagram, you'll see all of the shots out there of her hanging out on the weekend, which I love. And I want to talk to you guys about St. Pete. And St. Pete is this, and I want to let you guys know right now that this is a secret and you can't tell anyone. Okay, what I'm about to tell you, you're not allowed to tell anybody. All right, because most of America doesn't know, and most Floridians would like to keep it that way. But I want to share with y'all because the city's made such an impact on me and my family. We don't live in St. Pete. I'm about 30 minutes away, but in Florida, that's seven steps with the 14 lights that all last 3.5 minutes that you have to cross to get there. We're literally 12 miles away. It's not far at all. Okay. And I'm going to share with you guys, some of our favorite spots tonight and just great things to do in St. Pete. But the biggest thing I want to say about St. Petersburg as a whole is it has a vibe about it. And, I've shared with you guys before, I moved from Metro Detroit to Tampa. It's going to be 5 years. We're going to be celebrating our 5th year this year, which I'm so excited for. Which means, first of all, I don't know everything, but I also know enough. And I have put my nose and my feet on probably more ground than most Floridians have. So whenever people come at me with that, I'm like, well, let's talk about all the places we've been. And I don't say that to beat my chest. I say that because I love to explore. And I love to share that with you guys. That's how we built this channel. It was my selfish way of learning about the city and then sharing it with you guys kept me going, because you make comments and you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which we love and we appreciate, by the way. You smash the like button and it's super helpful. It helps the channel grow and it helps people just like you who are thinking about moving to the area, or locals know that we can help them in that too. And we have spent so much time, literally my wife and I have walked up and down Central Avenue, miles, by the way, on date nights before. And I do events in St. Pete with other real estate agents and professionals from all over the country. We've hosted a huge event down in St. Pete as well. And it's just a place we love to go hang out. And I want to share some of those things with you today. Some of these are very obvious, but others are personal to me. And I'm sharing them with you because they've made an impact on my life. So I hope that helps give some context for what I'm about to share with y'all, because some of this stuff is really cool. And some of the stuff you may or may not know about. So I definitely want to get into some of the things you can do down there. Now, for those soccer fans out there, and I'm not necessarily the largest soccer fan. I have children, so by default, I am forced to love this sport. Okay, for everyone else around the globe, they love soccer or football. We call it American football is football to us, but soccer. And St. Pete has a club, and it's called the Rowdies. And I'll tell you what, I have been downtown St. Pete when the Rowdies were playing a match. And that stadium was going insane, right? It was going insane. And I know now with Messi being, moved to Miami and being part of that club, like they're on the schedule. Okay. So the Rowdy Stadium here is literally right on the bay. It's right next to St. Petersburg Marina. It's right next to the pier. It's right next to the Dali Museum. It is the location could not be any better. It's unbelievable. It's a great place to go check out the venue. Let's pull up the matches here. And I have yet to go to one of these events, but I'm sharing this with you because this is on my radar to take my son, because I think it's going to be a blast, just based upon what I've seen, because it was just it was amazing to see that many fans just lit up. And I mean, it's obvious we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we got the Lightning, but most of our stuff is indoors. So the Lightning play indoors because it's hockey and you need it. We're in Florida. You can't have an outdoor ice rink. And the Rays play indoors too in the Tropicana Field, which is just a few blocks away from here. But I'm looking through this menu. So London United's come in, you got Pittsburgh here, Louisville. This is the remainder of the schedule. But it's one of those areas that is just such a blast. So I'm going to pull it up on the map real quick, show you guys where this is at. Bear with me.
Did you know my husband was a soccer player? Not a professional soccer player, but he played in college.
I did not.
Yeah, he was very good. He went to, I think when he was like 11 or 12, he got to go play soccer in Holland at a tournament.
Holland, Michigan? Or overseas?
Overseas.
Wow.
No, he was really good. Played through all 4 years of college on a scholarship.
Wow. That's very cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Well, I want to show you this map, and I was going to pull it up anyway. So let me give you some perspective here. This is Tampa Bay. Okay. So if we pull out a little bit, you're going to see Tampa on the other side here. So this is Tampa on the other side of the bay here. This is South Tampa right here. Coast Guard MacDill Air Force is right here. And as we pull back here, this is downtown Tampa, just so y'all can see. And as you start to peel in, you'll notice that right on the bay here is where all this magic happens. So downtown is literally right here. So it's one of those spots that is just incredible to come hang out. This is Central Avenue right here in the middle. And this goes all the way over to the beach, which is awesome. But just to the south of this, you got the Dali Museum, which we're going to talk about here shortly. And then you've got the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Their stadium is right here. It's right on the bay. And you can get out of here. You can go to the farmer's market during the winter. We don't host the farmer's market during the summer because you'll deep fry, and no one likes to do that. But they start back up in the fall. We love doing this. I think it's I want to say it's every Saturday from like noon to 1, or every third Saturday. I can't remember, but
I think it's every Saturday, excuse me, but I'm pretty sure it's every Saturday from 9 to 1.
Yes, there you go. And it's
in the fall and winter.
It's awesome. And then the Rowdies play right next door to it. It's a great location to come hang out. And then as you can see, you've got just to the north of this, you got Pioneer Park. Like I said, the Dali Museum's just to the south of it, right here. And we're going to talk about the Dali Museum specifically. And just to the north, you got the pier as well. So just a really great area to come hang out. St. Pete, like I said, you can do everything. You can go to the museum. You can go to the Dali Museum, which I'm about to share right now, which is absolutely stunning. And if you don't know the story of Salvador Dali, I would check it out. There's actually a Disney film made about him. I think it's really cool to kind of check that out as well. But the museum alone is incredible. This thing is beautiful. It's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. We took photos down here with our photographer as a family the first year, and that glass is so reflective. You can see the palms in the shot, but you don't recognize they're out over here, and it's just that reflective. It's a great location. Here you go. You can see it here. The building is so unique, and they always have the most interesting exhibits down there. And Salvador Dali on his own was a very unique individual, if you didn't know that. So definitely someone worth checking out, and a place worth visiting. And for also, the city is full of art, y'all. We have an art district, and I'll show you that on the map here too. But Marcia, you've been down there before. It seems like every other building has a mural that's been,
Oh, I know. I
commissioned,
love that.
and this goes on for block miles. Literally, it's not just like one or two. You'll go to certain cities and they'll get a couple things commissioned. I don't know. This is St. Pete. All right, St. Pete's got this thing about it. It's got this edge to it that I absolutely love. I think it's great. Okay, so definitely something worth checking out there as well. Another thing, since we're on the topic of art there, the St. Pete Pier. I want to talk about this too. The St. Pete Pier is a very unique situation here. I can't remember what the total project cost. It was like 50 or 80 million, somewhere obnoxious in the amount of money that was spent on this thing. And I don't say that to flex. I say that because the amount of detail and care that was put into this thing is incredible. It's enormous. This video here, I don't necessarily know it's going to give it due justice. It's like 60 feet tall. It's huge. And it's right on the end of the pier, which is almost a mile long. One of the things I love about this is they do run a golf cart out there with a little train on it to help seniors or people who are limited in their abilities. So you can come experience the pier as well. So I think that's awesome. There's actually an elevator too, so you can go up to the top. There is a beach right next to this. Y'all, I'm just going to share this right now. No upstanding Floridian swims in that bay. If you look out there, the only people you see out there are tourists, just so you know. Yeah. But just to the right of there, you've got the Vinoy Hotel, which is beautiful. The marina there, and they do a market here as well, and they'll do it at night during the weekends. It's awesome. There's a tot lot down there. There's a splash pad. There's a tot lot. There's a splash pad down there too. Just so much fun for whether you're single, young, retired, or a family. It's a great place to go hang out. And I'll tell you what, this is one of the best sunsets you will ever see is from that pier. It is unbelievable. You don't have a Gulf view, but what you have is a gorgeous St. Pete skyline, usually a champagne or a cotton candy sky, and you're surrounded just by nothing but beauty. I love it down there. You can't go wrong. It's just one of those places that you'll absolutely always remember experiencing that. And you can go in the morning and catch a sunrise. So it's a really cool place to go check that out. So St. Pete Pier, man, you got to do that for sure. All right. Now, you know me, I can't go 10 minutes without talking about food. So we're gonna get into a few of those things. I want to start with one of my personal favorite places. This is a spot where Kate and I go on date night, just FYI. We have sat in this booth here. We have sat in this booth here. As a group, we've sat at this table back here with like 12 or 15 of us. I've sat all over this restaurant. And what's cool about this restaurant, it is actually in the Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. It's very unique. And I've never eaten at a restaurant inside of a hospital before, especially like this is, it's upscale. I would say that they're casual. There's no dress code, but it's definitely more upscale. Wonderful restaurant there. Where we at here? I'll pull it up on the map. But it's such a cool little spot right off the highway here. So again, let me show you where we were just on the map. So we were right here when we were talking about the Dali Museum. Here's the Rowdy Stadium. Here's the St. Pete Pier over right here. This is Central Avenue right there. And then as you come down, this is All Children's, wonderful hospital, right? World-renowned, recognized John Hopkins Hospital. Love the fact that we have one of those here for us. But in here, you've got the library, and hopefully you can see it there. I know sometimes it gets a little bit small. But the library is here. And inside of it, they've got all the old plans from the old medical facility there. And there's all these old medical books in there with the bindings and everything. And it's just very cool. Wood floor. And it's just such a shift from a cold, sterile hospital into this warm environment. And they're actually known for their brunch. Now, their dinners are incredible. Would you agree, Marcia?
I was waiting to say I've gotten to go there with you twice, and I loved it. The food was incredible. The ambiance is perfect. It's like exactly what I like when I go eat out like that.
Yep.
So yes, I'd highly recommend it.
So here's their breakfast, and you can walk in. They'll pour espresso for you. It is legitimate. Breakfast bread, smoked Gouda grits. I mean, you're gonna put bacon and Gouda and throw them in a pot with grits. I'm here for it. You don't have to ask me twice. Avocado toast for us. To those millennials out there. I love avocado toast, so I'm not judging anyone. Omelets, Benedict, breakfast burritos, French toast sticks. They've got warm burrata, crispy Brussels there, smoked salmon dip, all the things, right? And then that was the lunch menu. If you get into dinner, which I think is absolutely incredible, here's what I love. You know how sometimes you come into these places and the menus are so overwhelming? Because they're huge. And you're like, dude, just pick something. I don't care what it is, right? But the thing I love about this restaurant is it's not really like that. They keep their entrees fairly limited. I mean, this is the entree option. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, roughly 10 items on the menu. That's great. I love to go in. That means you're probably going to do some things very well. And of course, they've got their steak options over there. Love it. The truffle mac and cheese is good. We always get the scallops. I love their scallops, the jumbo ski scallops. They come with Gouda grits. Again, now you know why I'm a big fan of the grits. So great spot to go hang out.
The appetizers, everybody, the times I've been there, we all oohed and ahed about their appetizers. That grilled peach, the cauliflower. Oh my God, they're so good.
As you can tell, Martha and I are fans. We're over here waxing poetic, but I'm sharing this with you, okay? And y'all, if you come to St. Pete and you visit the library, do me a favor. Their general manager's name is Aaron. Great guy, great family. He is excellent what he does. The staff's incredible. They've got an old fashioned down there that you won't regret. They make one out of tequila. I mean, how can you go wrong with that? Absolutely incredible. But make sure you reach out and ask for Aaron. He's incredible. They'll take amazing care of you guys. Okay, so that's shout out to the library. You will not be disappointed. Now I'm going to take you from upscale to the most bougie thing in the world I can think of to go after upscale is tacos, y'all. Okay, now if you've watched any of my St. Pete videos, you know that I am a huge fan of Casita Taqueria. All right, and this building here it used to be an old gas station. I love that they reclaimed it and made it something way better, which is a taqueria. You walk in the front door, you wait in line like a feral savage, and eventually you get to that countertop where they ask you, what do you want? Right. And then you order those delectable, delicious tacos and they bring them out to the table. And, I don't know, sometimes you breathe, most times you don't. I don't know how you go about eating your tacos, but whether it's the barbacoa or the shrimp, it's incredible. Get the churro. You can get a Topo Chico to go with it, the sparkling water. All of this stuff is incredible. And then when you're done with that, you can walk across the street and go to Bandit Coffee and get yourself some caffeine because you're going to need it after you eat all those tacos because you're going to want to take a nap, of course. So I would encourage you to go check out that. They're awesome. Let me see if I pop up their menu really quick. They do a really nice job. Their queso is really good. They have more of a whipped guacamole. For those of you, I've learned this about people. They're very particular about their guacamole. And I know this because I'm a chunky guacamole fan. Are you too, Marcia?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to know this from you guys who are watching right now. Are you a chunky guac fan or are you a whipped guac fan? Because I'm not a whipped guac fan. That's what they serve, but their queso is unbelievable. Chips and salsa is good. Pisado, carnitas, barbacoa is excellent there. I haven't had the chorizo yet. The carne asada is great. Pollo's incredible, and then Camarones is good as well. So just check these out. You won't be disappointed. Great, great opportunity to go down there. And last but not least on this list, I want to take y'all to something pretty cool down here. So St. Pete is known for being very, very dog friendly. All right, very dog friendly. You can take your pups just about anywhere. All right, and most of the restaurants have some sort of outdoor dog experience, but y'all, this is the dog bar, and it's not a joke. Okay, they don't mean like, hey, come hang out with your dogs. No. This place is for the dogs, and you get to hang out. They literally have ramps up to the tables outside. So for those English bulldogs that what's Boris, right? That Marcia's daughter has an English bulldog named Boris. If you guys have ever seen an English bulldog, their legs are only half the size of their body. So they ain't jumping on no tables anytime soon. But no. What the dog bar has done is they literally built ramps up to the top of these tables so the dogs can come sit on the top of the table while you're sitting there having a cocktail. It's very cool. And it's all AstroTurf outside. It's a really cool place to come hang out. I play that for you, but I'm not sure what they're going to say. So I want to make sure that I'm mindful of that. Let me look inside of the media here.
They have a pool too, don't they?
I believe
like a dog pool.
It may not be Earl all the time. Let me look at it. So they've got events. So let's check out the calendar of events that they got on. They got a Dogtoberfest, so you can't go wrong there. Not the fastest full cheesy. All right, so for cheesy food, acai berry, husky ice party. There you go. Trivia night, bingo night, Maltese. So they have specific nights around breeds, which I think is pretty cool too. So they got a Frenchie in here, puppies, Dogtoberfest, Dachshunds, Goldens, Pugs. I'm a big fan when places like this just take it to the next level and make it a fun event for everybody. Let's check out what these party packages are all about here.
Oh, how cute.
Now
you have to have doggy birthday parties too.
Birthday party packages. Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
4 to 6 pups for $45 an hour. You get your own private venue there. I mean, listen, people spend more money on their dogs than they do their kids, or their pets. It's pretty interesting. Rockstar party. Let's see what's included in this Rockstar package. Your pup's picture on Instagram and Facebook. There you go. 1 peanut butter bacon cake with a candle. Now, dogs are not going to be upset about that. Custom cake topper with the age. Custom cake banner with name. 1 Fido's Pawty, Pawty hat with the dog's name and age, waffles or peanut butter cookies to share, and then free entrance for party pups. There you go. So if you want to do something very cool for the dog, you can go ahead and book that. I think that's very cool. But what a cool venue. And that's down in the Central District. So I want to share that with you guys now. Actually, technically, I think that's in the Edge District. So let me pull it up. As we make our way through the city here, one of my favorite things to do is literally get a hotel downtown and just bump the avenue all night long. So I'll show y'all what that looks like. Central Avenue here. So you got the Art District downtown. And then as we move down further along, you'll start to see these. Where is 16? There we go. Bark Bar. Here's Tropicana Field. So now we're kind of getting into that area here. More museums all along the way. And then the dog bar. So the dog bar is right here, located, just a few blocks away from the stadium. There's axe throwing down in this area as well. This is right down by Casitas where I showed you Bandit Coffee. So really cool stuff happening down in these areas. You will not be disappointed. I love St. Pete. I think you will too. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's one of my favorite places to go hang out. Kate and I love to do date night in St. Pete. We love to take the kids down during the day. We love to go down there for events. When her mom and her grandma come into town, they go down to St. Pete Pier. We'll have dinner down. I mean, it's just, there's something for everyone, whether it's the parks, the museum, the art, the shopping. We even talk about the sundial. If you're into boating, of course you got the marina. I mean, it literally has something for everybody. If you can't find something fun to do in St. Petersburg, your fun button is broken. You need to go have it checked. This doesn't make sense to me because there's just so much going on. And, the breweries and all the food and, it's just a fun experience. I don't think that it's near and dear to my heart. It's just like that in downtown Tampa. We love those areas. We go to Dunedin too, as we've explained to you guys before, but it's a fun place to go hang out. Marsha's been selling a ton of real estate down there, so she's been running around with clients and getting to experience that. And listen, y'all, it's urban, right? But it is suburban too. It's not a huge city, a couple 100,000 residents, but that's a lot compared to most. Clearwater is about 110,000 residents, but Clearwater actually has a lot of land mass, just so you know. But it's still got a lot of people that live there, so it's definitely something to keep in mind. Okay, well, let's get into a little bit of real estate, Marsha. Well, let's jump into the comments too before we do that. I definitely want to get to some of these. Let's see here. Boombastic responded. He said, "We have a flower event business in Canada. We just want to move to America eventually, though." Well, that's cool. Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Flower events, a lot of weddings down here. So wedding season is kicking off officially in October. So it gets really busy. And I know that because our photographer tells us after September that we are no longer allowed to talk to her anymore. She's like, yeah, we're not doing anything. So she gets everybody in on family. We're doing family photos next week, y'all. We do it annually. My wife does that. And we do it in September because she goes away for a few months because everybody does weddings in October, November, December, January, February. She's really, really busy. So that's good. I think you could do well down here. A lot going on in that respect. So looking forward to it. And yeah, don't hesitate to DM, right? So for those of you who are watching, our handles were on the screen. We lost those. But you can follow us at Marsha's at Marsha Railton. And then I am at Juan.Alcala.realtor on Instagram. So you can just check us out there. You type in Juan Alcala, you'll find me there. So nice and easy. But let's get into what is popping off here in real estate. I want to talk a little bit about that. Oh, there you go. They pop back up. All right. So it's a very interesting time. I want to get into this with y'all right now because, man, interest rates are still sky high. The CPI data is going to come out tomorrow, actually. So we're going to learn a little bit more about what the Federal Reserve could potentially do with interest rates. Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The Federal Reserve is not directly in control of mortgage interest rates. However, they are directly influenced by them. And if you look at the parallels, the charts are almost identical on how they run. But what I want to talk about, since we're talking about St. Pete, let's just start talking about what's happening here locally, because, I'm still hearing this crazy nonsense that the market is crashing. People have been yelling that at me personally and the market as a whole for 18 months, and it has not happened. And we've talked about why before. There's just not enough supply. And for anyone who's like, there's plenty of houses I'm looking on Zillow, that information is not accurate. And what I mean by that is that only gives you one side of the story. You know where we are. You don't know where we've been. And it's hard to know if something is going in a good direction or a poor direction if you don't have perspective. You need something to anchor that to. So what I want to do right now is just share a little bit of numbers with you guys. I'm gonna try to keep it high level and not go too far in the weeds, because you know me, I can get real deep, but I'm gonna try to keep it top level. So what you're looking at here is I want you to look at it. This is a chart. And this is redfin.com. So anybody, if you're watching this right now, I'm not gatekeeping. I'm not using the MLS on purpose. This information comes directly from the National Association of Realtors. Okay, so Redfin pulls that data, but they pull it from the entire country. All right, including our MLS. But they're the ones bringing this to you, not me. So I have no agenda here. I just want to share this with you. All right, they're showing you what is happening over the last 4 weeks rolling here for St. Petersburg, Florida. And we'll get in the US and those types of things too. But right now, in a market where they told us that we were going to be down somewhere between 3 and 6%, depending on who you were listening to, here we are almost a year later, and we're up 0.5%. Well, that doesn't sound like a lot, except for the fact that that is beating our historic highs that we had last year in June of 2022. So when they told you the market was going to crash, if you had listened to them, you would have lost an additional $20,000 at least in equity. Okay. And depending on where you live, I'm just giving you an average. But right now in St. Pete, the median sales price is at $412,000. And I'm telling you right now, Marcia and I can both speak to this. For $412,000 in St. Petersburg, Florida, this is not the home that you probably most likely envision. Is that fair to say, Marcia?
Very fair.
This is it's going to be a 1,000 to 1,300 square foot, 100-year-old bungalow that has 7.5-foot ceilings, and it needs a lot of love. That's the reality of what that price is actually going to get you. On average, you're more likely going to spend mid-5s to 700,000. And then if you want to start talking about newer things like condos or townhomes that have been built in the last 5 or 10 years, you're now going to be talking 700,000, most likely 800,000 plus, just for perspective. So I just want to give you some of that for people to kind of wrap their mind around. All right. Now, this is all home types. Let's talk about single family homes. So here we go. Single family means that it's not a condo or townhome. A single family resides in there, right? In June of 2023, if you go back and look at June, well, that was the national average. The peak of St. Pete was July of last year. You can now see that June beat that number out. Now we're trending down a little bit, but this is normal. This is a normal pattern. If I go back 5 years, you guys will see the charts on home sales, you know, how they look. Peak, valley, peak, valley. And you look at these are all seasonal. Okay, July, May, these are all summer, right? March, and then it starts to really dive off the cliff here with the number of homes sold because there's so few people willing to sell now. And that's because so many people have mortgage interest rates that are below 4% in the United States. It's over 60%. And over 30% have mortgage interest rates that are below 3%, which is insane. They are not moving into a 7.5 or 8% market on home interest rates. So just keep that in perspective. But this is St. Pete as an example. Okay. Number of homes sold, it says that we're up year over year, but we were historically super low if we go back and look at these 5 years. Okay. So in August of 2022, if we go back to 2019, when this is quote unquote a normal market, we're lower than December sales, and December sales are typically some of the lowest, right? December, January, because those are the holidays in the United States. But these numbers are close when we're supposed to be selling the most amount of homes. Okay. And it's because there's so few homes on the market. Listen, the average home is only on the market for 16 days. You go back to 2019, it was over 50. That's what people considered a normal market, was for your home to be on the market for almost 2 full months. And obviously we went through COVID. That was a whole nother Wally world. But as you can see, the numbers aren't trending up. And if you're waiting for a market crash, you need the days on market to skyrocket. You need inventory of available homes to purchase to skyrocket. And everybody thought that with the raise in interest rates that would happen. But because so many homeowners have such low interest rates, they're not going to walk away from $1,600 and $1,800 mortgage payments to walk into $4,000 or $5,000 for the same exact property. And that's the reality of it. So this is why you're kind of seeing this right now, which is very interesting. All right. So I want to let's talk about, since we're talking about the Bay in general, let's talk about Sarasota, because we were down there. Rock with Marcia. Now, Sarasota on all home types is down 5.9% year over year at this same 4-week period. So I want to keep that in perspective. It's not the total year. It's the same rolling 4 weeks. But you can see how it's been up, down, month to month, literally. So January, February is down. March was up. April was down. May was up. June was down. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Now it's starting to trend that way. Why? Okay. And what type of property is that? So is it single family? And here's where you start to see some differences on here. So it's saying we're down 20% year on year on single family homes in the same 4-week period. So that's something to watch for. Is that a trend or is that an anomaly? I would keep an eye on that if you're looking at moving to Sarasota. What's happening with townhomes? Well, you got a 50% decrease. But here's the thing I want you to keep it in perspective. You start seeing those numbers, you're like, oh my God, the market's crashing. There were only 7 homes that sold. And during that 4-week period, that's not a normal amount of sales. So the data is all out of whack. So this is something you just got to keep your eye on, right? Same thing with condos. You look at condos. So what happened? Did they move from townhomes to condos this month? Because condos are up 50%, right? These numbers you got to keep an eye on what's happening. But the big thing I want you to take a look at is, where are people moving from? Okay. What is happening in these marketplaces? And here's what I want to show you. Well, forgive me for moving so fast here, y'all, but as you can see, majority of the people who are moving to Sarasota and Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, the Tampa Bay area are moving from the Northeast. This is a majority of our inflow. And what I love about this website is it shows you, and what this is counting is from June of 2023 to August of 2023, there were 1,129 people who exchanged their New York driver's license for a primary residence in Sarasota. That's what this is saying. Okay. And the biggest outflow of people leaving Sarasota was Asheville, North Carolina. Asheville is a great town if you've never been there. And Asheville, they refer to everyone who moves from up north to down south back halfway. They call them halfbacks. So the snowbirds who migrate south to find out that it's too hot or they don't like it, whatever, and they move halfway back, that's how they got that name. And it makes me laugh because I always laugh. We call them snowbirds, they call them halfbacks. It's like it's a great thing. Now, Chicago, Illinois was another feeder there. Boston, Massachusetts, Washington, D.C., Cape Coral, which I found interesting, Miami. We're getting a lot more phone calls from people who are relocating from Miami, and that's because of the expense. Philadelphia, Tampa. So we're exchanging a 1 hour drive, which I found interesting as well. Los Angeles and Detroit, my old hometown. So I think that's pretty cool. Okay. Now let's talk about Clearwater really quick. And then here I just want to talk about what we are seeing in the market in terms of incentive. Clearwater up 4.1% year over year. Let's see what's happened in single family. Single family homes are 1.2%. Townhomes are down 10%, and then condos are up 2.4%. So said overall, we're up just a skosh there at 4.1%. 216 homes sold. That's actually up from the same time last year because there wasn't hardly any. I mean, there was no inventory last year. We're still at no inventory. I know it's crazy to say this, but that's the reality of it. And then same thing there when you look at that net inflow. The unique thing that changes here is you start picking up some of that Pacific Northwest. And it's the same thing I found in Tampa. We moved families from Seattle, San Diego, Sacramento, Phoenix, and now we're starting to get a lot of phone calls from the Dallas area. So Frisco most notably is where we're getting the most calls from. And I know that area is blowing up too. So it's fascinating to me where these people are migrating from. But look at these numbers. This is the Clearwater. Going to Sarasota, there was only one number with a comma in it. When you look at Clearwater, you have 3, New York, Washington, and Chicago, all to the tune of over 1,000 in just a 3-month period. So that's fascinating. To me, that's fascinating, right?
Juan, I have a question about that. Are these only people that change their primary residence? Yeah. I'm wondering, I think, just my opinion, why Sarasota is different. A lot of people buy their second homes in Sarasota or their retirement. So they haven't made it their residence yet.
I would agree with that. It's definitely more second home driven. Oh, Mortgage News Daily is dying on us. I was going to pull up the mortgage rates, but Mortgage News Daily, which is our site that we use, is dying here. Okay. Looks like it's struggling a bit, but I'll pull it up on Google just so everybody knows. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I want to help everybody kind of understand where the opportunities are in a marketplace like this. Okay. With me. Sorry, y'all. I usually have it ready, dimed out, ready to go, but the website died. Okay. So this is what's showing up. Oh my God, that's terrifying. So this is what's showing up on Google. Now, this isn't perfect, but this is taking the blended average. I love Mortgage News Daily, but check this out. A 30-year fixed rate mortgage today is 8.156% is what they're saying. 15-year fixed at 7.2. If you get into things like FHA and VA, they're typically 0.5% less. And I'll share this with you guys right now. We're in the process of buying our home. We had it on a lease option. Our interest rate is locked in at 7.1%. And let me tell you, that is not something that I was hoping to have happen. right? But here we are. And the reality of it is, because I had a lease option in place, we have a tremendous amount of equity in our home. We controlled the property and we had to execute by this year. So we put ourselves in position to do it. And now we get to complete the sale of the property. And that's a big number. And I'm sharing this with y'all because these loan amounts are not small. But here is where we are seeing some really good deals. And I want to share this with you guys right now. Because the thing that I want you to be aware of is this is the end of the fiscal year for home builders. Okay, so Marcia, home builders like in North River Ranch, an example down in Parrish, which is a suburb of Tampa. It's 35 to 40 minutes to downtown Tampa from Parrish. This is like what people are considering the next Lakewood Ranch, or they think it could be. We've got great builders down there, like Homes by West Bay, which I'm showing you right now. Marcia sold a few of these properties, but these guys are doing really good deals right now. If I go in my email and share it with y'all, they're doing things like $17,000 down on closing costs and giving you a 6% or a 5.5% rate. I know DR Horton is definitely dealing 5.5% rates. And that may sound like a lot to some people, but listen, historically speaking, 6% on average is normal if you go back over the life of since that's been tracked. And when you look at interest rates of 5.5% and they're offering you as much as $15,000 or $20,000 in closing costs, you can use that money to buy down the interest rate even further. They get you to 5% and you take that $15,000 or $20,000. Now you might be able to get your interest rate below 5%. You might be in the 4s, and that makes you a rock star in today's market. So I don't want to lose sight of that, right? So you see this $35,000 on us, and they don't usually broadcast that stuff publicly. Let me see if I can pull up an email right now where they shot us something. In terms of bonuses and things like that. So let me look up DR Horton.
Yeah, it's interesting how the builders are offering so many incentives.
They really are. And here you go. So here's an example. We just got this email today. Share it with you right now. So I got this email 9 hours ago. 10:51 a.m. is when I got this email. DR Horton, America's home builder. So they're giving $7,000 in flex cash. Now, flex cash means that you can use that for whatever you want. Down payment, buy down your interest rate. Closing cost literally means that they're giving you a credit towards the closing costs only. Can we negotiate these things? Perhaps. The other thing that you'll see here is they're giving a 5.5% interest rate. You don't see it on this one, but I got another email if I go back and look. And it'll show that there's probably one in there with a 5.5% interest rate. They're throwing bonuses our way, not that they ever matter, but try to pass those along to our clients. But the point of sharing this with y'all, so you can understand that these opportunities exist, and the reason being is because most of these builders' fiscal year ends in November. These guys want to get these off the books. So they're wheeling and dealing right now. So if you're thinking of moving or relocating the area, consider new construction for a few different reasons. Number one, the cost of ownership in Tampa Bay on a new construction home is significantly less than a resale property, period. Okay. I'm not an HOA guy. That's not my thing, but I get it. And here's what I do know. Or here's my belief. My belief is over time, here's what I know. Real estate over time has proven itself as an asset class. It does not need me or anyone else to do that for it. Okay. Things do go up, things do go down. I'm not somebody who's going to sit here and tell you that real estate's going to go up forever without seeing a dip. But most likely, if you hold that thing for 10 years, there has never been a 10-year period where someone owned a piece of real estate where it didn't increase in value. And if you hold a piece of real estate for 20 years, you win. But the big thing to understand here is with the challenges that we have with insurance companies and things like that, they want the best properties. Insurance companies want the lowest risk. Well, if you buy a new home, you are considered the lowest risk. You have the highest building standards currently, right? You got a new roof, new windows, new doors, new everything. So you're an attractive proposition to an insurance company. And I'm sharing this with you because it matters. Does it not, Marcia? It matters a lot.
Absolutely.
Right. So the overall cost of ownership goes down dramatically with new construction. You can have potentially up to 10 years with very little maintenance, very little upkeep on that property. All right. Versus walking into a resale that may need a new air conditioner or a new furnace. I'm sorry, a new air conditioner, or a new hot water heater, or a new roof, or, the concrete's messed up. And there's pros and cons to both. I live next to the beach. My home was built in 1977. I'm keeping it because I know that this home is going to take care of my family if I keep it in the family, because I live less than 2 miles to the beach. But I also recognize that my insurance is always going to be significantly higher because I live 2 miles from the beach. And I have a home that is old as I am. And no matter what, people look down on it. And it does come with more cost of ownership, right? The grade of the property wasn't done correctly. Both of my neighbors sit higher than I do. The pool's higher than my back. Just weird stuff that you don't see happen today. So I'm sharing this with y'all because you can pick up some of these great properties right now. They are wheeling and dealing. I'm sorry to go long on this, but if you're considering making the move to the area here and you don't care about the beach, if you have an unlimited budget, then you're fine there, right? You can get a brand new home on or near the water for somewhere between $5 and $12 million. Well, you can spend as much as you want. But you can do that. But for everyone else who's looking, from that 500,000 or 400,000, really 400,000 to 1.5 million category, or maybe even two and a half if you're doing fully custom, looking at areas like Lakewood Ranch, Parrish, Bradenton, Wesley Chapel, Odessa, San Antonio, Angelina that is coming. These areas offer a lot of opportunity. A lot of new construction. That's where all of that new home building is going out there. We're doing a ton of properties out there. And, I went tangent here, Marcia, but would you agree that that is a good option, especially for someone who's thinking of making this their starter home? Listen, y'all, owning a home is not a joke down here. Right? Like,
I would definitely say that, but not just for starter homes. Again, a lot of my clients are retiring or buying a second home in preparation for retiring. So buying in a new community, with the HOA and all that, it's a stress reliever, because when you lock up your door, it's in a community where people watch out for you, and it's, things are new, so you don't have to worry about the hot water heater going bad and things like that. So I love new communities. When we moved here, we moved from a neighborhood, not a planned community like this. But I love it. I think it's a really good way to meet people, because most people that move here are moving from somewhere else, and depending on your neighborhood are probably going to be interested in the same types of things you like. We're boaters. We live in a boating community. So guess what? We made a lot of friends because that's what we all like to do. So to me, it's a great way, moving into a neighborhood, to meet new friends and feel, protected when you leave, as far as how your home's gonna be when you come back.
Yep. Yeah, it's a huge benefit. And I've shared this before too. Like, we don't have the best windows in this house. So that's the first project that we're taking on, and listen, y'all, the quote on hurricane impact windows is it's an awakening. Let me just tell you that right now. So, getting into properties that have all these things already done for you, it's just, it makes your life a lot easier. And again, I'm not, like, we live in a non-deed restricted community, non-flood zone, non-evac, very, very fortunate on all those things. But if I had to make a decision on where to stick my money, if I was coming down here for the first time, new construction is very attractive. It's very attractive. So keep that in mind. These homes are built well. People have arguments, pros and cons. If you look at all the builders, they all have positive reviews and negative reviews. I'll say this: I've seen great products from almost all the companies down here. There are some that, maybe some of the building crews had a bad day from time to time, but you usually don't see that on the homes. The mid-tier plus, the starter home range. Listen, if it's a budget builder, there's a reason for it. They're taking a shortcut somewhere, because supplies are supplies and labor is labor. All right. Would you agree, Marcia?
I do. And I feel like with the inspections that we recommend, you really protect yourself for, if they're skipping something, we're going to know about it.
Yep. Yeah. So Appreciate you guys' time today. And hey, if you got any value out of this, please do us a favor, hit that subscribe button and hit that like, smash the thumb. That way it lets people know that you got value out of it. If you have any questions or comments that come to you later, put them in the chat. Like I said, I'll follow up. I'll make sure I answer those for you. Connect with us on Instagram if that's the best way for you to connect as well. Both of our handles are there, at Marsha Railton, and I'm at juan.alcala.realtor. You have direct access to it. We are so grateful to share this time with y'all. All of our contact information is listed down below. There's even a link to my calendar so you can schedule a time that's best for you. Marsha looks forward to serving you. And I know Miss Stacy missed this evening, but we miss her as well. Stacy, if you're watching, we appreciate you, dear. And until next time, y'all, go out, live that Tampa life. Have a great evening, and God bless.